Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Shuffle Podcast, episode 287. I'm Joe.
And I'm Annie.
Annie, how are you?
Pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great. Happy to hear it.
Yeah.
Sorry about last week's episode.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Not sure. Actually, we do think
I
we
have
know.
a theory. I have no proof.
No. So I guess we'll see with this episode.
Yeah, if you jump into this episode 10 minutes from now and... I mean, we have no way of knowing right now what's going to happen.
No.
The first 10 minutes or so just got completely wiped.
I didn't even know until he posted it.
Yeah.
And I was
I didn't know until I tried to post it. So, technical issues happen. We're working on it. I think I figured it out. We're trying something new today.
We are.
And I will have a backup file should the original file not work. Hopefully the backup file is okay. We shall see,
we're gonna
I will
out.
put my fist through a wall.
Not one of my walls, preferably.
One of my walls, which is also not ideal because I'm about to move out of that house. But quite frankly, I could burn that house to the ground and I'd be happier.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you heard about all the issues that we've had living
I think
in this
I've heard
house?
some of them.
We had a pipe burst in our kitchen.
I've heard that one.
Flooded the whole kitchen.
Yeah.
We had a pipe burst outside, one of the irrigation pipes. Flooded the front lawn and started water was shooting out of it at such an intense high velocity that it was literally carving out the dirt and sand from underneath our driveway. So there's a very real possibility that we get a sinkhole under our driveway before we move out because the weight of a vehicle, and we don't know how much of it is empty underneath there because I stuck my arm in and I didn't hit a barrier. So God only knows.
I'm terrified of sinkholes.
Yeah.
Because
I
they
don't
can
even
just
know how they work.
They can just happen.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone knows how they work. That's what makes them so scary.
Just goes.
Yeah, they just go.
I saw a video this morning, not the other day,
cool.
of a car nose down in a sinkhole, but it was like a sinkhole filled with water. And the car was just
be so scary.
Lights on too.
So
was there somebody in the car? I don't know. The car was on.
Knowing that the ground anywhere at any time could just collapse
Give
underneath
out.
you and you would be stuck.
Yeah.
And possibly trapped in there for days. Because I feel like that's the story. Whenever there's a sinkhole on the news, you hear the stories of
people trapped.
4 days later, people are still trapped in there. We're trying to get them out.
See, and then I wonder how, because it's not like it's a sinkhole that opens to nothingness. There is still a bottom.
Right.
So where they must hit bottom, what are they trapped under?
Rubble. Debris.
But if they were on top of the rubble, how do they get trapped underneath the rubble?
I feel like a lot of those instances are in a building, a skyscraper or something.
Buildings.
Yeah. Maybe not a skyscraper, but
Yeah, I don't know that skyscrapers are the victim to a lot of sinkholes.
No, but a building collapses and you're stuck underneath, more so like that.
Yeah.
Happened.
If it was just on a road, you're probably getting out pretty quick.
Yeah, I would think.
They still sustain some injuries, but
that gets you out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happened not too many years ago, a hurricane a couple years ago here in Florida. There was a condo that happened to after a hurricane and it collapsed. And
the whole condo collapsed?
Yeah. It was really bad. And that was one of the ones I remember they were digging people out of there for 7 days after it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wasn't that long ago.
I don't
remember which hurricane, but
long enough for me to not remember, but
yeah,
kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying. So I was, speaking of watching videos, I watched a video last night. When I say I watched a video, I was looking over Riley's shoulder. She was watching TikToks. I was just watching her watch TikToks. Right. Yeah. And so she watched this one where it was this, there was an alarm going off and this girl bursting into a room, and she's trying to wake up her mom. And she goes, we have to get to, she's waking her mom up, and she was we have to get to our muster station. And so I am what the hell is happening? And
what station?
A muster station.
What is that?
Right. See, so a common question, I would assume.
Okay. I didn't know if I was supposed to know what that was.
I didn't know what it was. Okay. Yeah. And so I wish Riley was here in the peanut gallery. By the way, we don't have a peanut gallery this week. I wish Riley was here in the peanut gallery because she won't be able to defend herself, and I absolutely rip her apart right now. So I go, what are they doing? And she goes, oh, it's a muster drill. And I'm like, a
A
what? She goes, it's a
what?
muster drill. And I'm like, what's a muster drill?
Like, I feel like I've
And
heard that
she
word before, but
goes,
I couldn't tell you what it was.
she goes, like when you're, and she goes, oh, I'm sorry. Have you never been on a cruise? I was like, no, I fucking haven't. Excuse the shit out of me.
That's so funny.
So it's a thing it's
I've
like a fire drill on cruise ships.
been on cruises. I just don't think I knew that that's what it was called.
Yeah, it's a muster drill. It's
Mustard? Like
muster.
a muster, not
Mustard.
like the
I also
condiment.
thought she said mustard
Yeah.
at first. Yeah, muster, muster.
Okay.
And it's, I mean, I guess you might know, it's the drill they do
We
like the
do
first
at the very
day
beginning. They have
Yeah.
you all gather at the evacuation
in
spot just
your
in
muster
case.
stations.
Yeah. Don't think I knew that.
Yeah,
That's what it was
and
called.
so my immediate reaction to her saying, well, I'll get to my immediate reaction of that, but like my thought process was, I am paying for a vacation. Don't you dare make me go through a fire drill on my
It
vacation.
makes sense though.
And then I was like, this is happening in the middle of the night because this woman was dead asleep. And so Riley was like, no, this happens
It's
like
usually
the first
thing.
afternoon.
Yeah. Which means she got
the
on that boat and
and
passed
immediately
out.
went to sleep. And I was like, okay, well, that's a little bit better, but still, like, I don't want to be bothered.
It's usually like,
What if I'm mid margarita?
I mean, that very well could happen.
And I would be pissed.
I feel like most people that go on a cruise know that that's something that happens. Maybe you didn't know that it's called a muster drill, but
I didn't know that happened.
I
didn't know there were fire drills or emergency drills on boats.
a lot of cruises take off at 5 p.m. on Sundays, and I feel like they normally have it at like 3. It's like right before the boat leaves. Like you board at like 12 or 1, and then they give you time to like settle in.
And
then fire drill.
I hate it. I think it's the dumbest thing in the world.
I
I get why they do it.
I was going to say, I think you would like it in the event that you actually needed it.
No, because think about it this way, right? In the event of this boat's going down, we need to get everybody to a place to get them off this boat that's sinking.
Yeah.
There's no orderly fashion. You ever watch Titanic? There was no orderly fashion. People got shot.
I don't know.
One person got shot.
I don't think they did a muster drill before.
I don't think muster drills happened pre-Titanic. I think probably
so.
post-Titanic is why they
there's a muster drill. Yeah.
But my point is, you could drill all you want. There's no, yes, that's what she said. There's no orderly fashion when an actual emergency is happening. Because we are humans, we panic and we run.
Yeah.
So it just, I think it's, don't interrupt my vacation.
The last cruise I was on, I remember it was one of our days at sea, and we were up at the pool, and there was a fire alarm that went off.
Yeah. On the boat?
On the boat. Like, we were going, like, this wasn't a muster drill. That was just a fire alarm went off.
Yeah.
And the captain or whatever came out over the intercom and was like, there was a fire. Don't worry, though. It's like, it's not bad.
We're like, we got plenty of water.
We've got it under control. And I remember my whole family was sitting there relaxing, and I was like stood up. I had my towel in my hand. I was ready to go.
Where do we go?
I was like, just in case.
Where's the ship? Where's the boat to get me out of here?
Yeah, just in case it like gets out of control, I'm ready. And my family was like, Annabelle, just sit down and relax. It's fine. And I was like, nope, I'm ready to go.
I think back to when I was in college and they would do like middle of the night fire drills.
Yeah.
I ignored so many of them and I would just stay in bed. And like, it's loud.
And when they did roll call, they were like, Joe.
They didn't do roll call.
He's not here.
That's the dumbest thing is they didn't do roll call. No.
What's the point?
Exactly.
The point is to make sure everyone gets out.
Yeah.
That's silly.
But that's the thing is like, they can't necessarily do a roll call because they don't know if somebody's like, what if I'm staying at a friend's dorm that night?
That's
or what
true.
if I am.
So my freshman dorms,
at
they
the
did
bars.
room checks. And you had to let your RA know that you weren't going to be there that night.
Oh, that's crazy.
And then they would come around every night at midnight and they would check the room to make sure you were in it.
That's disgusting and over.
And then they would lock the door for you, which was nice.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
No, I would, because the alarm didn't sound in your bedroom, you still heard it, but it wasn't nearly as loud as when you open the door to the hallway where the alarm actually
very
is.
Loud, yeah.
Yeah. And so I would just keep the door closed. I was like, I'm staying in here. My roommate and I both one time we're like, fuck that. I have an 8 a.m. class. Absolutely not.
One time we had a fire alarm go off when I was in my freshman dorm and I was in the shower. And
you were one of the sad
it was me.
people going out in their towel.
It was me and one other girl on my soccer team because it was one of those after like a soccer practice one night. And our RAs came in and they were like, "You got to get out now." And we were like, "Can we get dressed?" And they were like, "No, you got to go now." And I was like, "Okay." So wrapped myself in my towel. It was like February.
Yeah.
It was freezing.
And it's
in
dumb.
North Georgia. And we went out there, stood out there in my towel, hair's dripping wet,
Freezing
people
cold.
all around me, freezing cold. And come to find out, you know what set it off? Some girl was blow drying her hair.
Oh, is her hair okay?
Yeah, no. Or some girl was, because sometimes when you like use the brush on your hair, sometimes
Yeah.
a little bit,
It, yeah.
a little singe comes off and it set off the fire alarm. And then I had to walk outside in the 20-degree weather with a towel on,
That's
dripping wet.
insane.
Yeah.
You couldn't make me.
That was awful.
If there was a
I have a
legitimate
picture.
fire,
I'll
then
have to see if I could find it.
if there was a legitimate fire, then absolutely I would go out there
Right.
in a towel.
That would make sense.
But if I know it's a drill, which most of the time it is,
yeah, which like we didn't know it was a drill, but also like I feel like if there's a fire, it was a brick.
You know.
It was a brick building, like a cinder block building. We got a little bit of time.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And that's the thing with fires. It's like so many. I mean, like there are several buildings that are made out of wood or have a lot of things that are flammable.
This one was like straight cinder block.
That's how my college dorm was too.
Yeah.
It was all brick.
Cinder block on the inside,
this
brick on the
building
outside.
not going anywhere in a fire.
We might lose the roof, maybe, but we'll be okay.
Maybe, yeah.
I was on the first floor.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
We'll lose all of the beds. Those are all wooden, but
yeah,
everything else fine. Like
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
No. Especially
Super down.
because I was in the bathroom where there was more cinder block that I was surrounded by.
And water.
And water.
Yeah. Shh, we're good.
I
No
would have been
worries.
fine. I could have at least gotten dressed.
I don't know a single thing in a bathroom that's flammable.
Toilet paper.
Okay, you got me there. You're right. And that's burning up real quick, and then it's
done. Yeah.
Just throw it in the toilet. It's out real quick.
Yeah.
Bathroom's probably the safest place to be in a fire.
Yeah, especially that
If
one.
you can't be outside of the fire, the bathroom is the next safest place.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because don't they like tell you, like in emergencies, you go sit in the bathtub? Isn't that
I
like
think
a
that's
thing?
for earthquakes.
I think you're probably right, but still.
Earthquakes, fires,
Tornadoes. Wait, no, it's
tornadoes.
tornadoes. You go sit in the bathtub.
Tornadoes you're supposed to get in the basement, but I think a bathtub. Well, it doesn't have to be a bathtub. It's just the most like
centrally
inner
located.
room of your house that's got no windows,
Yeah.
and bathrooms are always a safe bet for that. There's one window in a bathroom, and it's very small. It's the least likely to do any damage to you, but every other window will shatter and slice your shit up. So they also say it's like really good to open up all your windows and doors during a hurricane,
So they don't.
so the
shatter.
air just flows
Oh.
right through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's less likely to shatter still.
We lived in a part of Georgia where every house had a basement, and you had like a shelter room in the back of the basement that was like designated for that. Because we had, I mean, not bad earthquakes, but we had earthquakes pretty frequently.
Earthquakes.
We had.
You're not going in the basement for earthquakes.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh. I don't know.
Earthquakes are getting in a bathtub or under a table.
Oh.
Because if your house collapses during an
tornadoes.
earthquake and you're in the basement,
I don't know. I never used the
See you
shelter
later.
area.
I mean, my room is in the basement. So
We would
like,
do it during like
I
bad
was always in
storms.
the basement of
We
my
would go
house.
down there sometimes during like really bad storms.
Yeah.
One
The
time,
storm cellar.
one time, yes, if you will.
I will.
One time, one time our basement flooded during a bad storm. During Irma, the hurricane. Remember
Yeah.
Irma? Yeah.
Not good.
No, it rained. Irma,
And it
I don't know
poured.
if you remember it. It came up Florida and it sat on top of Atlanta for 3 days and did not move. And our basement was in like half a foot of water.
Bad.
It was bad because we're
Yeah.
at the bottom of a hill too.
Oh,
good.
drainage. Yeah. But so that brings me to my reaction to how when Riley said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Have you never been on a cruise?"
All of that to say.
I was like, "No, I haven't. Sorry, I'm fucking poor and not good enough for cruise ships." And she was like, "No, I didn't mean it that way." And I will defend Riley a little bit because she isn't here to defend herself. She did not say it how I'm saying it.
No,
But-
I'm sure she did not.
For the rest of the night, I sat there going, "Oh, I'm sorry. Have you never been on a cruise before?" Because I was just like, "Damn, you don't have to do me like that." Jesus Christ.
I would love to go on a cruise.
It was the funniest thing. The
bet.
way she was genuinely trying to be like, "Oh, I'm
It's-
sorry. I'm just like talking about a mustard
She's
drip, but
like-
you've never heard of it
It's
before."
like you should hear this too.
Yeah.
But like the opposite.
Yeah.
You don't need to hear this.
Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Have you never been on a cruise before?" And I'm like,
Sorry. It's the I'm sorry. That
Yeah.
really, that's the kicker behind it.
"Yeah." I was like,
Oh,
"Fuck."
oh, I'm sorry.
Ew, like you've never been on a cruise? Get away from me.
Ooh,
Like, damn, all right, I'll just
crazy.
fucking leave, I guess.
I think we should all go on a cruise. That should be podcast outing.
A cruise?
Cruise.
I'm
So
sure.
fun.
I like how we say podcast outing. One, we never do them.
No.
Two, we are the only two people that do this podcast, but we always include everybody else.
Podcast outing includes
the peanut
all
gallery.
5 of our friends.
Yeah.
All 5 of them.
Yes. All 5. The whole 5.
The whole 5 people.
Yeah. But yeah, I was wildly insulted when she said that. Oh, I'm sorry. I was like,
I think it's just the way you say it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Have you never been on a cruise before? Because Riley and her mom and her sister, they go on cruises.
Cruise people.
They're cruise people. They go on cruises a lot. Her sister just got back from like a 2-week vacation, and I think a cruise was involved in some way, shape, or form. And so like they're regularly on cruise ships. I have never even gotten close to a cruise ship.
Really?
Yeah. I've seen them. I have pictures of them.
Maybe it's just like more of a, like if you're below the middle line of America, go on them because they're down here.
Yes.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Because there's no really cruises that take off from New York. Okay.
Probably not. My parents have been on a cruise. I have friends who have been on a cruise.
Okay, so maybe that's just you.
It's just me, yeah.
Trying to help you out a little
My
bit.
parents went for like their anniversary, so it was like
He's
and
never been
they
on
did
a
like
cruise.
a Canadian cruise.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they took off.
Or like an
took off. I
Alaskan
keep saying
cruise.
took off.
I
That's
would.
where my friends went.
I don't think I would ever do an Alaskan cruise.
I would love to do an Alaskan cruise.
I don't like the cold.
Yeah, but it's not as cold as people think all the time there in Alaska.
I
You do it.
know.
You do the cruise in the summer.
Yeah. I didn't mean to flick my hair.
Anyways, I'll let you go ahead if you got something before I just talk about all 3. Because the next 2 things I have, one of them's very quick. The other one is going to take at least an entire episode.
I've got one short thing for you because I started my new job this week, so that's all I've been doing all week.
Yes.
The only important thing that happened to me this week, the peach milkshake.
Got it?
It's back.
From Chick-fil-A.
Sure did.
Yeah.
And I had Caitlin.
Did you get your Zaxby's the other day, by the way?
No.
After we finished recording the episode last week, we sat here for at least another hour.
It was a long time.
Yeah, we sat here for at least another hour. Riley and I were trying to decide where we were going to get food from, and frickin' Annabelle is just like, "You guys should get Zaxby's, and then bring me back some Zaxby's."
No, because Riley wanted Zaxby's.
Riley suggested Zaxby's.
Riley really wanted Zaxby's because like the new milkshakes, Zaxby's had the new milkshakes.
They brought back their
were out.
Milk. Or they brought. Did they bring them back, or did they just introduce them?
No, they had been gone. They had them years ago, and they've been gone for like 6-7 years.
Okay.
And they just brought them back. And Riley really wanted Zaxby's, and then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, "Oh, that sounds good." But then Joe kept saying that Riley couldn't have Zaxby's.
I did not say she could not have Zaxby's.
And then
I did not control her life and say she could not have Zaxby's. I said that I didn't want to drive out of the way to go to Zaxby's, and we had a gift card to Raising Cane's, which is not the same, but it's chicken nonetheless. Chicken is chicken.
No, Zaxby's is so much better.
I strongly disagree with that, but
so much better. And then I was sitting here and I was like, man, Zaxby's sounds good. I think you should go get Zaxby's. And then I think you should bring me back some Zaxby's.
Yes. And then she was like, I'm just going to order Zaxby's and get it delivered. And I said, okay, you
I had it pulled up on Grubhub too, and I just never
I don't know
did
why
it.
you didn't.
I just can never justify ordering food.
It's
because it's so expensive, and I'm like, I could just get in my car and drive over there and go get it.
You could.
But then I just don't want to. So then I just don't
I will say like 2020, 2021, even 2022 were like prime years for food delivery.
Delivered
I think now people are very much
in
going back to, I'm just going to go get it.
Right, because you might as well.
Delivery fees are
it's
through the
so
roof.
expensive.
Yeah, that's why nobody tips anymore.
Yeah.
Delivery fees are too high. I'm not tipping my driver.
Oh my God. Wait, that's what I can talk about. Sorry. I forgot this happened.
Okay. Yeah, fuck your peach milkshake.
I know. So anyway, I'll continue with that real quick. I've got a peach milkshake.
Milkshake.
I got a peach milkshake, and Caitlin, my roommate, had never had that, and I made her get one too, and she said it was really good.
How peachy are they?
They're,
I don't like peaches.
No, they're not like artificial peach. They're like, it's vanilla. It's like a vanilla milkshake with peach essence.
Essence of peach.
Essence of peach. It's not like terribly strong. Like Meg doesn't like peach, and she tried it, and she was like, "Yeah, it's all right."
Okay.
I don't think she would ever have it.
Is it refreshing? I feel like
I think
peaches would be
so.
refreshing.
I think so. I don't really like milkshakes.
Same.
But the peach milkshake, so good.
Okay.
I love it. I think you should at least try it once.
I mean, I'll probably try a sip of somebody else's. Like when Riley inevitably gets one, I will try it.
Anyway, so I made Caitlin try it the other day, and she said, "quote unquote," it was really good.
Quote unquote, it was really good.
But anyway, I'll tell you about my delivery story because I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
I almost killed. You
almost killed somebody?
Yeah, my classic. I almost killed somebody because I was mad.
Okay. I was like, you delivering something and almost hit somebody? What's happening?
No. I just get very easily annoyed, and I usually say I'm going to kill somebody, and then Caitlin has to calm me down. But
right.
This happened earlier this week, not later this week.
This will happen 2 days from now.
this will happen at some point. No. Logan the other day ordered Domino's because her apartment complex got a coupon or something for it. And
gotta love the coops.
Yeah, and we had the same 50% off coupon. So we were like, me and Caitlin were like, oh, we're getting pizza tonight.
Caitlin and I
were like, we're getting pizza tonight. I love Domino's. So
I hate Domino's, but go ahead.
Domino's is my favorite.
Papa John's is way better.
Chain.
PJ's.
Papa John's is, so let me continue this story and I'll get back to the Papa John's thing.
You get back to PJ.
Yeah. So we're gonna order
Father John.
Domino's. And this was one of the days of training. We were off at like 5:45. So like we got home already. It was like, I don't know. We ordered the pizza at 8:00. Long story short, we ordered the pizza at 8:00.
Pizza.
Yeah. Put in the order. We wanted it delivered because we were already like showered and we didn't want to go anywhere. Ordered the pizza. It's gonna take 19 to 29 minutes is what it said, and I was like, all right. A little bit long, whatever.
Yeah. You're expecting 8:30. We're going to have some za.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're sitting there. We're watching White Chicks. That's why I asked you, because I watched White Chicks for the first time this week.
The first time?
Yeah.
What an experience.
It was so good. I loved it.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it was great. So we're sitting here watching White Chicks, and I'm watching Nicholas prepare my pizza. I'm not watching him, but I'm watching, it gives you the sequence of events.
Yeah, Nicholas,
like,
keep going.
He's prepping, he's baking, he's putting, Yeah. I'm watching him prepare this order, and we get to quality check, and I get a call.
They're like, your pizza's shit quality. Are you sure you want this thing?
I get a call from an unknown number in Orlando, and I figured it was Domino's, but I was like, they're probably just, because it had just changed to prepared, and I was like, they're probably just gonna call me and say, hey, it's ready, we're on the way.
They do that?
I don't know. So I didn't answer because that's what I just figured it was going to be, because I don't want to talk on the phone.
Sure.
So I didn't answer the phone call. My bad.
Did they leave a voicemail?
No. So literally 5 seconds after the call hung itself up, I get a text and an email both saying my order's been canceled. And I was like,
what happened during the quality check?
I was like,
Nicholas, what have you done?
So it says you can call back your store to figure out, what's happening. So I call him back. I'm sitting on hold. Keep in mind, this was
hold with Domino's at 8:30.
This was 30 seconds after they had just called me. I sit on hold for 12 minutes.
Not worth it. No. I would have just put a new order in.
So the only reason I didn't is because I wanted to make sure they were going to refund me. Like if I did it. So I'm sitting on hold. And I was like, hey, finally he picks up. And I'm like, hey, I just got a notification saying cancel my order.
Like 12 minutes ago, I got a notification. What gives? And
he was like, oh, yeah, that was, you put in the order at the wrong location. There's a Domino's across the street this way, and then there's one down the road over there. They're both around the same distance, but he said this is not the Domino's for your area. He was like, we canceled the order for here and we transferred it over to the one that's in your location. And I was like, right, okay. I was like, that's fine, which made sense because we've had gotten pizza at that one before, like the one that's supposed to be in our location. So I was like, okay, am I going to get another like confirmation order, like that's letting me know when it's going to be on the way, or what do I do about that? Like, how do I make sure my pizza's going to get to me from this other place now? And he was like, they don't really send another email, but you can call the place if you want. And I was like, great, give me the number. So he gives me the number, hang up with Nicholas.
It was Nicholas who you talked to?
Yeah. I think so. I think that's what he introduced himself as.
Let's assume it was. Yeah.
I'm gonna assume
for
it
the
was
sake
Nicholas.
of the story,
For the
makes
sake
it
of
more
the story,
interesting.
Nicholas. So then I call the other one, and they pick up immediately.
Love that.
Love them.
10 out of 10 service. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pick up immediately, and I was like, hey, I explained what happened. We just put an order over here. He said I wasn't in his service area, so they transferred me to you guys. Did you guys get that order? And he was like, no, we don't have an order like that. And I was like, well, he said it just kind of happened automatically and I wouldn't have to do anything, but I just wanted to call and make sure. And he was like, no, that guy definitely lied to you. We don't transfer orders like that around. And I was like, okay, so
it does seem awfully high tech for Domino's.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so what do I do about this? And he was like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. He was very nice. He didn't know what to say to me because they don't do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I think I'm just going to go cancel the other order then. And so I was like, okay, bye.
So, well, but they canceled it. You didn't immediately get a refund?
No, because he said he was transferring it to the other place. I don't know.
I think if they hit cancel,
so
you
I
should get
hung
a
up.
refund.
I didn't hung up.
I didn't hung up.
So I stopped talking to the one that's in our service area, and I called this one back now.
Call Nicholas back.
And now I'm angry. I'm already a little bit peeved.
You're like, all right, time to go a little bit Karen.
Now I'm angry.
Yeah.
And then it gets worse because you know what I do after I call him back? I sit on hold for another 12 minutes. Not exactly 12, but it was a long time.
Yeah. Nicholas just isn't answering the phone.
Long enough that I almost just gave up, but I was like, no, because I want.
So now it's by this point approaching 9 p.m.
Yes. And I'm like, I want to figure out. The only reason I didn't hang up is because I spent $20 on pizza and sides and stuff, and I was like, I want to make sure I either get my money back or I get my food. Either one, I don't care. So I call him and I was like, hey, they said that they don't have an order. Whatever. Can I please cancel the order? And he's like, great, it's canceled. So there's that. Then we're like, well, maybe it's like 8:45, 9 o'clock at this point, but I'm still really hungry and I still really want pizza. I'm still in enough of a good mood that I'm like, I want pizza. So Caitlin.
I know this is going to get way better, and I'm so excited. I love stories like this.
So Caitlin has the app on her phone, the Domino's app. I ordered online just with like the promo code, typed it in online. I put in the address. It popped up with the closest store. It was that one. That's the one I selected. So that's how it ended up at that one. Caitlin has the app on her phone. So we're like, we'll try the app this time. We've ordered on the app before, and it sent us to that one to pick up food. We've never had it delivered, but it sent us to that one to pick it up.
Right.
So I love how I keep pointing in that direction. I have no idea where this is.
Yeah, you are totally turned around, but yeah.
So we order on the app, and we put in the same exact order, all the things. We put in our address. It doesn't give us the option to select a location. It just lets us put in our address. And it was like, it's going to go to your nearest location, which we've put it in before. And it was that one, the correct one. So we were like, surely it'll be fine. So I spend another $20 on this pizza. Put the order there.
Oh my
God. We're waiting for it to be done. And then Caitlin checks halfway through and she's looking at it, trying to figure out what's going on. And she's like, it's going back to that one. And I was like, what? Show me. And she pulls it up. Sure enough, it's going back to the one that's not in our service area.
Going to Nicholas, yeah.
It's going to Nicholas, yes. So I'm like, well, there's no way to cancel the order. We looked everywhere. We can't cancel the order. It's already going. It's already being made. Nicholas is going to have to make my order all over again. So
absolutely, yeah.
He's making it again. It's going to be another 20, 25 minutes until it's ready. I watch it go. I watch it do its quality assurance. He calls me again. And this time I picked up because I was like, I'm not sitting on hold for another 30 minutes. So I pick up and I'm like, hey, Nicholas, we're on first name basis at this point.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's me again. He literally said, yeah, it's Nicholas again. And I was like, he was like, this order we can't deliver this order to you. And I was like, I understand that. I've tried on the website and on the app. It won't let me select a location. It only will let me put in my address.
Yeah.
And the
if
address
that is the closest one to you, then they deliver to you.
And the address is bringing me to your store. I've tried both times, 2 different ways, and it's bringing me to your store every time. I don't know what to do. And he was like, are you over by like the resort area? You know, because there's a bunch of resorts, right? He was like, are you over by the resort area? And I was like, yes, I am. And he was like, yeah, I'm sorry, we can't deliver out in that direction. And I was like, okay, give me my money. Like, cancel the order. Give me my money back, please. Just at this point, I'm mad.
I would have just said, I'm coming to get it. Make the fucking pizza.
I wasn't driving over there.
Yeah.
I was like, give me my money back. I'm over it. It's 9:30. I'm sick of it.
So let me ask this.
Yeah.
Why is it going through all of those steps?
Yeah, because that was like, it took like 25 minutes again for them. Like, they prepared the pizza. So they had 2 orders
of your
of
pizza
my
and
stuff
sides
sitting there at their store, already made. And I know that when he made the second one, or when they made the second one, they could see it was the same exact thing, because we got the same exact thing.
Here's what I think.
Why did he not
Continue
call
your story
us?
and I'll tell you what I
Why
think.
did he not call us at the beginning to say we're not? Because that's what Caitlin said. They were like, they should have let us know before they even made anything.
Yeah.
That they can't deliver to us.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's where Papa John's comes in, because at this point I'm mad. It's 9:30. It's almost 10 o'clock. I was like, I'm just not going to eat. I'm going to bed. And Caitlin was like, well, maybe we can try like a different pizza place.
Caitlin was saying you guys should probably eat. That's crazy.
I know, right? I was so mad. And then, so we call Papa John's.
Love PJs.
So we order Papa John's. We get basically the same exact thing from Papa John's.
You've actually, just from the story alone, you've convinced me that tonight for dinner, I'm getting Papa John's.
Okay, good. I'm so glad. Papa John's, sponsor me.
Yeah, please.
So we put in the order, same exact thing to Papa John's. It's cheaper, first of all. Second of all, it took 5 minutes for them to make it, and in 10 minutes we had our order here at the door. It was ready.
PJ's knows what's up.
Yeah, freaking
John and his pizza boys.
Yeah, freaking Maria. She dropped it off. Maria, she dropped it off.
Oh,
she was such a sweet
lady.
lady.
I did not know what I heard.
She was a little like Hispanic lady, and she had a little accent, and she was like, "Have a great night, darling." And I was like,
"Thank you so much."
Thank you, Maria.
So here's what I think Nicholas was doing to your ass.
Mm-hmm.
You are absolutely right. He has every ability to look on that screen and see the address where it's going. He knows it's an order for delivery. The first thing he should do is look at the address.
Right.
See if he can deliver to it. I can guarantee you.
The first time, maybe I can give him a pass.
Yeah.
The second time,
I can guarantee you that he can almost definitely deliver to this area. He's, 5 minutes down the road, if that?
Yeah, it was 10. It was like that one was 9 and that one was 11 or something like that.
He can deliver. It's crazy for him to say that he can't. Let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he can't.
Especially after the second time we tried, and I was like...
And so you're putting the order in, and I think it's getting late. Nicholas is getting a little hungry, and he's going, let me just make the pizza and not click can't deliver or out of area.
Yeah, because then they can just have that pizza.
Then they can just have the pizza.
Oh my God, I'm going to kill Nicholas.
Yeah, as you should.
If I kill him.
Nicholas deserves death. Because that's without a doubt that is what they're doing. And I sound like my mother right now because she always comes up with crazy theories when I am like, listen to this crap I had to deal with on the phone.
Yeah.
I had a thing happen recently with my benefits. I had to call because I hadn't gotten my debit card for my HSA.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, hey, I've been putting money into this account for my health insurance.
Yeah.
And I don't have any access to that money. Where's my card?
Yeah.
And so I had to call the benefits center, and then I had to call the bank that they do it through, and then they both bounced me back and forth to each other like 3 times. And so
like, why can't y'all just call each other and get it over with?
And so then I finish all that, and I call my mom. I go, Mom, you got to hear this, because I love telling these stories. It also allows you to vent. And my mom's like, how does the big company like that mess something like that up? I go, Ma, relax.
I wish I knew. I wish I could tell you.
She's like, well, you better make sure. I'm like, I'm going to make sure. Trust me. But that's what's happening is he's 1,000%. He made 2 pizzas with sides and then goes, oh, no, I can't deliver. Clicks a button. And that's a free za for Nicholas and his boys.
Nicholas, if you're ever watching this, death.
Yeah, 100%.
Immediate.
Nicholas is the worst kind of human being. Because, and here's how I think that's what's happening. Because if I worked at a pizza place and that's
what
option,
you would do.
That's what I would do. If it got really late, because my favorite thing when I used to be a delivery driver for I drove for Uber before I moved down here.
Yeah.
And that was back before they introduced Uber Eats. So it was just Uber, and then Uber was like, hey, let's get into this food thing. And so they asked all the drivers if they would like to also deliver treats. And I said, absolutely. I can drive food around instead of people. Love that. And so I would start my nights at like 7 p.m. I would drive just Uber. I would drive people around. And then at around midnight, I'd switch over to Uber Eats. Because now I don't want to drive drunk people around. I want to just food for them.
Very valid.
And so at midnight until 4 a.m., I would drive around delivering food. And my favorite thing back then was the rule with Uber Eats is you had to hand deliver them the food. You had to put the food in hands and then click, and they both parties had to click confirm. And so if you were delivering late and they didn't come to the door, you got to keep the food.
Wow.
And so, and I did not do what I could have done. What I could have done was just say they never came to the door and keep the food. But on a regular basis, I would go and I would knock on the door. I'd ring the doorbell, and the app would tell you like try 3 times. And so I would sit there, ring the doorbell, ring the doorbell, ring the doorbell, no answer, and I'm like,
wow.
I'd stand there waiting, nothing, and so I'd be like, okay, I go
Mine.
delivery, like they never came to the door to pick it up, and so I would take it back into my car and I'd get free McDonald's on a nightly basis because I would still get paid because I'm like I had done the whole process.
How do I do this?
Yeah.
I
But
sign up
well,
for
now
this?
it's different because then post COVID, they changed the
you
rules
can just
where
put it
you
on
can put it
the
at the door
ground.
and it's okay. So you can't just be keeping food. However, some Uber and what's the other one? DoorDash drivers, 1,000% keep. Because I've had orders get totally screwed up before, and they're like, no, we gave Uber, we gave DoorDash everything.
Yeah, that's happened to us before too. They've like forgotten the drink at the restaurant.
Yeah, always. Please. Come on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's also really easy. DoorDash, don't listen to this. It's also really easy to get your money back from DoorDash.
I bet.
Yeah. How's the quality of your food? Dog shit. Terrible quality. They'll give you half your money back every time. I'm not saying I ever did that, DoorDash. But there have been times where I've gotten really pissed off because I waited. I've gotten cold food before from DoorDash.
Oh, so I mean,
so cold.
Valid.
Yeah. And so a couple other times when the food's fine, but I'm still mad about the previous time, I'm like, yeah, I want all of my money back. So give me half of this.
I deserve this
compensation.
Yeah.
That's and so an funny. Apology. There was one time, that I was. This is like when Riley and I had first started dating. I was at her apartment, and a bunch of us had ordered food, and I think a bunch of us were ordering like food from different. So I had ordered my food from wherever, and she lived in an apartment, so I had to be very specific about where the food was going, especially because to get to her apartment, there were like 2 different stairs you could go up. One it was very confusing, or the other one straight up, and it was on the. And so I put that in the notes, and then I even texted the driver, the DoorDash driver, and I said, "Hey, when you pull up on this road, you're gonna see a staircase right at the road, right at the sidewalk. You're gonna go up that one, and it's the first door on the right. You physically cannot miss it." And I saw them circling the building, trying to figure out where the hell they had to go. And so I'm texting them. I call them, they don't answer.
Anyway.
I'm texting the driver, and I'm like, "I see that you're here. I see that you're walking around or driving around. Go to this side of the building, the main road that goes through the neighborhood, and go up the stairs that's on the right." And they're like, "I can't bring it up to the door." And I'm like, "Why not?" And they're like, "I'm not allowed to." I'm like, "Since when are you not allowed to? I drove for you people. I know that you're allowed to." And yeah, since when?
Since when?
And so they're like, we left at the bottom of the staircase. And I'm like, great. So now I have to run down because it's a busy neighborhood. People all over the place. Anybody could have taken that food.
Just grab that food.
Yeah. And so I'm like, great, I got to go down. So I go down the stairs. Like, I'm going to kill somebody. And so now I'm trying to figure out what's the quickest way to the other staircase, which is almost nearly the other side of the building. And so I'm like walking through bushes just to shortcut my way there. And I finally get over there, and there it is. And cold, I might add, because they took forever already to deliver it. I was convinced it wasn't getting delivered. And so I immediately, like, while this is happening, I'm still texting the driver and like blowing up on them. And then I immediately like reach out to DoorDash, and I'm like, this is absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why they couldn't deliver it to my door. I don't know what that took them so long, and something was missing, and I was just pissed off. And so they gave me all of my money back for that one because I blew up on them.
Wonderful.
Yeah, they were gonna give me half back, and I was like, absolutely not. I go, you will give
It's
me all of my money
amazing
back.
what people will do to, like, if you're mad at somebody, like, it's amazing what people will do to get you away from them as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Because I do the same thing at work. If someone comes up to me and they, like, blow up or they're mad or whatever, they're being difficult, what can I do to get you away from me as fast as I possibly can?
It's not to make you happier. It's to get you away from me.
Please get away from me.
Yeah. Please stop bothering me with whatever it is.
Yeah.
100%. And I hate that that's how it works, but I'm happy that it works in my favor.
Right.
But it is also ridiculous. Like, if you are going to volunteer your time for minimal compensation to deliver food, you better do a damn good job of it. Because I'll tell you right now, I'm a shitty person, and I don't tip to begin with, delivery drivers. But it's the principal thing. I was never tipped when I was delivering, so now I don't tip.
Just
despite everybody else, yeah.
I guess, yeah.
I already don't tip, but you better bet your ass that I'm gonna get your shit fired from DoorDash if you're not delivering my food in a timely and a proper manner.
So if you ever work for DoorDash or Grubhub, don't deliver to Joe Sharkey.
And you see my name pop up, don't accept the order.
Run in the other direction is what I'm hearing.
And that's why I just do it myself now.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll be my own delivery driver. I'll go get the food. And now I truly understand, like, when I was growing up, my parents never ordered delivery.
We didn't either.
We lived maybe 7 minutes from the nearest pizza place. It was the pizza place we would always order from. Molino's, it's called. And I would always say, why do we have to go? There's 2 feet of snow outside.
Yeah.
Why are we going to drive to get this pizza? And always my mom would say that we're not getting delivery, we're going to pick it.
Naturally.
And we're going to have to pay.
Which usually is my mindset
delivery.
too, but especially now because delivery is so expensive.
Yeah.
The only time growing up, we never got delivery either. It was during COVID. Yeah. We started to because it was a whole support local businesses. So we would get local food delivered.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah. I refuse to do delivery unless I absolutely have to, because I've just had too many issues with it. Like, I know the type of people who are delivering food. They're rats. They're not trying to do a good job because they are just delivering thing from point A to point B. They don't care.
Yeah.
So either your shit's getting messed up in the bag because they're just throwing it around their car, or they're going to take their sweet time because all they have to do is get the food to you. There's no time limit.
Yeah.
And so they're going to stop and get gas. They're going to stop and smoke a cigarette. They're going to stop and get high with their friends.
Maybe grab a couple fries while they're...
Absolutely. That's why they started taping the bags. People were stealing food.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I would do that. I would grab a couple fries.
Ridiculous. By the way, that McDonald's order that I had gotten for free that one night, this is the one I always tell because it was a massive order. It was 4 drinks. It was 2 pops and 2 McFlurry.
Which, how do you not come to the door?
I mean, it was 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They were probably drunk or high off their ass.
Yeah.
And just passed out.
Yeah.
It happened to me in college. I had ordered a calzone one time, knocked. I woke up devastated.
And you were like, no.
Like, you know how when you wake up and you realize you're late for work and you're like, that's how I woke up, not realizing that I had paid and not gotten my Wanzone's calzone. I was devastated. But yeah, there was 2 drinks, 2 McFlurries, burger, McChicken, chicken nuggets, French fries. And I was like, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I just got paid to eat all this food.
Definitely high. With that order,
they had to have
definitely.
Been high. Yeah. Or it was just a group of all getting. Maybe. But they were probably high.
Yeah.
Hey,
man.
Good for them.
Works out in your favor, I guess.
Yeah, it did. Absolutely it did.
Maybe I should. I was going to say you said they changed it. Maybe
they
I
did change it. Yeah. At least Uber Eats did. But I also assume that because DoorDash always leaves it at my door.
Yeah.
When I used to order. But because I'm like, especially after COVID, I was like, I don't want to interact. I also don't want to feel inclined to tip because, when you answer the door and they're handing you your food, you feel inclined to have cash and give them cash.
Really?
Yes.
I just tip on the app. For Maria, I tipped her on the app.
Some of that's taxed.
Sorry, Maria.
Yep.
You did a great job.
Yeah. But I don't know.
I never had cash, to be fair, though.
I feel inclined to have cash because it's just it's
Well,
nicer.
it's like whatever. Like if we ever go get our nails done, you want to tip in cash because it's that $10 or whatever is going straight into
to that
her
person.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like when you get a tattoo.
Yeah.
You're gonna tip in cash.
Yeah.
Now the last time I got a tattoo, which would have been this whole sleeve, I did not have cash because it cost me $800. So I just tipped with my card.
Like,
but
that's fake money.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not
when
real.
you're hitting $800, it's all fake money.
It's all fake money. None of
Nobody's
it's real.
carrying around $800 in cash on them.
No.
But anyways, so Sabrina Carpenter came out with a new song.
She did. Man Child.
Yes. Have you listened to the song?
Of course I have.
How many times?
Not as many as you probably would expect.
Okay. Not as many as me then, because on the drive here, that's all I listen to.
Just a repeat.
Literally. I think that, so the drive here from my house, 35 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
However many times you can listen to that song in 35 minutes is how many times I listen to it.
9 times?
No, it's not a 5-minute song. 9 times.
I'm thinking 3 to 4 minutes.
Let's find out,
You said 32 minutes away?
I said I live 35.
Oh.
I
heard 32. I don't know why.
It is a 3.5-minute song.
So 9 to 10 times.
10.5 times I listen.
What? Yeah, I guess. You're right.
10 times would be 33 minutes.
Yeah.
Math.
10-ish times.
10-ish times I listen to that song.
Arguably
Feels like more.
a lot of times.
This song wasn't made for me. Wasn't made for my liking.
No.
But boy, is it a great song.
It's for the girls and the gays, and that's it.
It is 100% for the girls and the gays, and I am neither of those things, but damn, it's a good song.
I just keep hearing the stupid and slow part on TikTok.
Yes, absolutely. That's all I keep hearing. And I hate how much I like it. I mean, I don't hate how much I like it. I love how much I like it because I know that it also doesn't apply to me.
No, yeah.
Because I am none of those things.
Well, good.
Yeah. At least I try not to be.
I think if you're trying, that's what counts.
It's the first step. That's
the first step. It's the ones that don't even try because they don't know.
Yes.
They don't realize.
Because we've all dated stupid people. So the song is a little bit relatable, even to a couple of the straights out there.
Straights. Happy Pride Month. Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about that last week.
We did not talk about that last week. Yeah, happy Pride, everybody. to our gays and others, happy Pride.
The girls, gays, and theys. Happy Pride.
Yeah. Proud ally over here.
Straight.
Proud straight. I don't think I'm allowed to say that this month.
Damn straight.
Yeah. But yeah, this song is just absolute fire, and that's really
fire.
Like I told you, this other thing was going to be quick. That was I cannot get over how good she is at writing songs.
She knows what she's doing.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she absolutely knows what she's doing.
Absolutely, it's so good. She's so good.
End of story. Period.
End of story.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She should be like the poster child for Pride Month.
Yeah, I think her and Chapel Roan kind of are.
Oh, 100%.
Like,
I almost forgot about Chapel Roan for a second there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was just
the two of them are running this month.
Chapel Roan just did something too. Do I remember what it was? Not currently, but I'll think of it eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much time are we at here? 48 minutes. I'll leave it up to you. We could save this thing. Food delivery ended up taking up a majority of this. This other thing is food related, but I am fairly confident, at least with how much I have to say about it, that we could take up probably another 30 minutes.
Do
we want to save it for next week?
Let's save it for the next one, yeah.
Then we'll do that. But there is a very fun conversation that has actually happened on this podcast before, but will happen again on the next episode.
Yay.
So with that being said, let's take it to trivia.
Yeah, we've got no peanut gallery today to quiz us.
So Riley did
our couch is empty.
Do us a favor and sent us a trivia, and then the answer is currently in invisible ink.
Ooh,
can you confirm?
It sure is. Okay. Cannot see that.
So the question is, how many time zones are there in the world? Time zone. Time zone. So we live in a time zone.
We sure do. Let's think of how many there are in America.
In America.
It's only 3? I don't think you're right.
There are 4 in America.
There we go. Yeah.
Which means there's at least a certain number.
There's at least 4 in the world.
There's at least 4. I feel like this answer is actually really obvious.
Oh my God, just in case you needed it, here's the number for the other Domino's. That's where I typed it down when he told it to me.
The better one or the...
This is the better one.
Okay. I was going to say, if that's the number for Nicholas, I'll call him right now.
No, that's the one he gave me.
I think I've got it. I think I think the answer is too obvious.
Really?
For what I put down. Like, I think my answer is too obvious, but I think it might be right because of that.
Mine is a complete guess.
Mine was, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh, wait, actually, this makes a lot of sense. Is yours a two-digit number? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm just, because I'm looking at the invisible link, and it is also a two-digit number. I don't know what just happened to that text, but...
I guess I'm locked in.
Okay, as am I. What did you say?
13.
I said 12. 24!
I win by default. I love winning by default.
I thought 12. That makes so much sense. Like a clock.
Oh, you want a little Hunger Games on it.
Yeah, I thought it was a perfect answer.
24, though.
2 clocks.
12 times 2.
Yeah.
2 clocks.
So there's 12 per hemisphere.
I wonder if that's it. Maybe.
I mean, it has to be it.
Yeah.
It's a perfect
I
circle.
feel like
they can't possibly be 13 and 11.
I'm curious. Because we got 4 here in America. America is a pretty big place, though. There's Eastern, Central, Mountain, Pacific. Is that it?
Yeah.
All the time zones.
Isn't Hawaii in its own?
We're about to find out. Are there 24 time zones? Yes.
Well, we know that.
There's 1 time difference for every hour, basically, is how they do it.
So I was like almost right with like the just time in general. Like, 12 hours on a clock.
It's just 24 hours of a day.
24 hours of a day. I'm so dumb. I'm going to say we're so dumb. How did we not think of that?
So the United States technically has 9 time zones.
Sorry.
There is Atlantic, Eastern, Central, Mountain, Pacific, Alaska, Hawaiian, Samoan, and Chamorro.
Atlantic. What falls under Atlantic?
I suppose like Puerto Rico, maybe?
Far East?
I don't know. Let's
get a map. Map of the time zone. Just for the record, you are at 2. I'm at 4.
Okay. And we have 1 more week?
No,
3? Is it 3?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look here. Got it pulled up. This is, here it is.
Okay.
It's very...
very hard to see. Happy Pride, though.
Happy Pride. It's a rainbow map. Here's
Atlantic.
I'm assuming that's Atlantic.
I don't think it is. No, that's... I think that's...
It says area in partial time zone. Also, most of the world does not engage in daylight saving time, which I guess makes sense, but...
I don't know how that works. How do time? I
don't know how to like read these things. These are very like confusing maps.
I don't know how to read this map.
They're very confusing maps.
What's confusing about it? Each line is a time zone.
I understand. I guess I'm trying to figure out which one is which.
Well, you know which one's Eastern. So just go from there.
I see the 4 in America, like the 4 big ones, and then there's Alaskan, Hawaiians out here.
Okay.
I can't figure out where Atlantic is.
Well, I would assume it's the one right next to East.
No, because that was the one that was partial time zone. It like didn't have one.
What do you mean it's partial time zone?
It said it didn't have a time zone. I don't know.
How do they not have a time zone?
I don't know.
Do they not tell time in this area of the world?
What is in the Atlantic time zone?
America. That's a picture of America.
There is?
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. I was right. Okay.
So it's the one directly east of our time zone.
Yes. Yeah, because Puerto Rico is...
So you're saying I was right?
I said Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but you're saying that I was right on where it was located. You were right on what fell into it.
Puerto Rico's over here.
Right.
So that would make sense, I suppose.
So it's the one directly next to the Eastern time zone.
Yes. But not this one.
Is that?
That's the partial one or whatever. It doesn't have one.
The
It's like the tip of like
Newfoundland doesn't have a time zone?
it says that.
It's not worth asking how. You don't know.
Yeah.
What is it? Well, what is the time?
4. 3.5. There's 3, 4, and then 3.5. So maybe this one's Atlantic, -4. And then there's like the middle of the Atlantic Ocean is -3. And then like in between those two, there's a small line where Newfoundland is, and it's 3.5.
A little box around Newfoundland.
Also, some portions of Greenland are in the 3.5. It goes up.
I'm so confused. Are there any other 3.5s anywhere on random places? Are there any other halves? Is what I'm meaning to ask.
How many partial time zones are there? Oh, I understand. I don't have an answer to that question. I have an answer to why they do that.
Okay.
It's because where the place is so small that it's only like a half an hour
difference.
Yeah. So they just count it as a partial time zone because it's not like an hour difference from one to the other. That makes sense? So like Newfoundland is so short across that they just count it as like a half hour instead of the full hour.
I'm sure that doesn't confuse the people of Newfoundland at all.
Not even a little bit.
So you're telling me that if I travel...
Ooh, here's an interesting one.
Okay.
There is one... one country has 12 time zones in it.
Russia.
No, that's what I would have thought too. Nope. It is not one you're going to guess.
Well, then it's not Australia.
Mm-mm.
Give me a location. Give me a continent.
Europe. Western Europe.
Western Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Western Europe. What's it start with?
That's going to give you the answer, I think.
What's it end with?
E. France.
Shit.
And that makes sense why it has 12. It's not the country of France. France has so many different like
territories.
Yeah. French New Guinea and all the whatever. I don't even know.
So here's my question. If I'm traveling east from Florida.
Mm-hmm. You get to Africa.
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm traveling east, I am gaining time. Or I am losing time. I'm going ahead
You're
in
going
time.
ahead in time.
Going
so you're
ahead in
losing time. Yes.
Sure. I'm losing time. But by an hour. Every time I cross a time zone.
Mm-hmm.
If I travel northeast to Newfoundland, what time will it be when I get there? Like if I am outside of Newfoundland's time zone at 4 p.m. and then I go into Newfoundland, is it 4:30?
Yeah, technically, yeah.
And then I come back out and it's
depending on how long you stay in there.
5:30 or 5?
So let's say you're in whatever is next to Newfoundland on the left, on the west side of Newfoundland. It's 4:00.
Yes.
You take a step over into Newfoundland.
Suddenly it's 4:30.
It's 4:30. Let's say you spend 30 minutes there.
5 o'clock.
So you would go back, it would be 4:30.
Right. What if I were to go forward?
If you would go, which is the Atlantic
Would
Ocean.
Would it be a half-hour time difference again?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be, it's 4:00 on the left. You step into Newfoundland, it's 4:30. Then you immediately step into the Atlantic Ocean, and it's 5:00.
Always 5 o'clock somewhere. Except in Newfoundland, where it might be 5:30 or 4:30. In which case, eat shit.
That's so funny. Anytime someone says that now, you could say that.
Except in
5:00 somewhere. Except in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
It needs like an asterisk on it.
Yeah. Or any other partial time zone for that matter.
Yeah, I never found the answer to that. If there's more
I don't at this rate, I don't care. Now I know how they work. So well then, is it because it falls perfectly in between two time zones, but it doesn't fit fully into one or the other, so they give it a half?
Because the map,
like Puerto Rico is smaller than Newfoundland.
When I was just looking at the map, you know how like Newfoundland kind of juts out off the side? It was like, so if this is Newfoundland, the line kind of went like this.
Curves around it.
It curves around it, and then there was Newfoundland that was like in between the curve.
So it's not because it's too small, it's because it perfectly divides
the other two. But it's just not enough time to include it in one or the other.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's not worth dividing a line
straight, like straight down the middle.
Yeah.
So that's so interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting indeed.
There are
because they divide states in half all the time. That's just
yeah. There are 11 offset time zones, so partial. So 11 places in the world
where it's a half hour.
It's half hour different, or it did say there was some that were 45 minutes.
Oh, that's
which
so
is
confusing.
Arguably worse.
That's the worst thing.
Some countries that have this include, because some countries there's portions of it in between. I guess Newfoundland is technically in Canada, right? Is Newfoundland its own country? I don't think I know. Other countries that have this include Iran, India, Myanmar, and parts of Australia that have 30-minute offsets.
Interesting. So then if I were to go into Newfoundland, jump back out into the 4 o'clock time, and then jump across the Eastern to Atlantic time zone, I would go from 4:30 to 4 to 5.
Yes.
If I could do that all where they meet.
Like right in the middle.
I could just jump in an hour for an extended period of time.
Yeah, for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
You could have an hour for an hour and a half. Crazy.
I feel like I'm high right now. Anyways, trying to figure out, I'm about to ask you where can the people find you, but I'm trying to figure out if I want to say what I've been thinking today before I get to that. Before I get to the question that you always answer after you say where people can find you.
I actually have an answer to it.
Well, then where can people find you?
At Annabelle.Kessinger on Instagram and TikTok. And my eat of the week is going to Papa John's.
Oh, yeah. What did you get, by the way?
We got a large pepperoni pizza, and then we got a papadilla.
That's literally what I'm getting tonight is a papadilla, because that's the greatest thing that they make there. First of all, though, the fact that they call it a papadilla instead of a calzone is the dumbest thing, because it is not a quesadilla. It's a calzone. If you fold a pizza that does not make it a quesadilla, it makes it a calzone.
And we got the one with like
John.
Italian sausage and salami, I guess. And God. Banana peppers.
I'm going to get a chicken bacon ranch. Yeah.
Never had that one, actually.
I don't think that's one that they explicitly make. I think you have to like custom make one. You get a chicken bacon ranch, but that's what I used to get when I was in college.
Yeah.
Love a good CBR.
I just get extra garlic sauce from Papa John's. Love the extra garlic
butter.
Garlic butter, and that one to me is the best one to dip in the extra garlic butter.
So good. What would you, if you had to rate your meal out of 10?
Out of 10, after that night that I had, probably like an 8.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Any other night, maybe not as high, but because I was already like where I was.
Yeah. You were angry. You were starving.
Yeah.
Papa John's came in clutch.
Papa John's, thanks.
You can follow me on my photography Instagram, Sharky_photography, and my regular Instagram is Secret Agent Sharky. My eat of the week is definitely the Raising Cane's that I got after the podcast last week. I will say we drove all the way home. I got the gift cards, and then I drove all the way back out.
As you should have.
Yes. I was willing to make that sacrifice.
I'm glad.
And
I want Zaxby's again.
Oh my God. I got a box combo, no slaw, extra fries.
I've literally had Raising Cane's like twice.
Box combo is 4 tenders.
I usually get the kids meal.
And then I got what did I get to drink?
DP?
No. What did I get to drink?
I don't know, something with no ice.
I think I got a lemonade. I've been on a lemonade kick lately. Lemonade, no ice. You are right. I don't think they added ice. There's a very strong possibility that they added ice. That would be like the third time in a week.
I was gonna say last week. That's what you told me too. That so many people have been adding ice.
It's really been
rampant.
Getting on my nerves. Yeah, there's a problem somewhere, and I need to solve it. It's like they just hear me say the drink and then they tune out the rest of what I'm talking about. But anyways, because I was starving by the time I came home with that chicken, I'm going to give it also an 8 out of 10. Which brings me to the thing I was going to say prior to the eat of the week, which is I had a fan reach out, my mother, and say she had a suggestion which I actually really like, and I think you might like it too.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you that listen all the way to the end, feel free to talk to me or comment on what you think of this idea. Changing the way we do the Eat of the Week. So the Eat of the Week was introduced back in COVID when we had nothing else to talk about
Then
besides
food.
what we're eating.
Right.
And so
Because that was all there was.
Yeah, it was something we introduced at the end of the episode. It was my friend Ben's idea, and he was like, "We'll do the best thing we had to eat this. You know, just give us something to talk about."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, cool."
Extra something.
And I never changed it since. Now, because we both, you more than me, but we both struggle to find our Eat of the Week sometimes.
Yeah.
The suggestion was, what if you guys go out, eat once to a restaurant? You're both going to the same place, get different meals,
and then we rate it.
And we rate it.
Okay.
And then we can start like recommending meals at places that we go to, local restaurants that we go to.
I like that idea.
So we'll give them a rating, which is what we just did today, out of 10.
Yeah.
But from now on, we'll
just go to the same place.
Go to the same place, which is convenient because
podcast outing.
Now we can have podcast
with
outings.
all 5 of our friends.
Yes, we'll get everybody in on it, and then we can have the peanut gallery say, "I'm actually going to give it a this out of 10."
Okay,
if they had something that we.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that idea.
Cool.
Cool.
Again, let us know if you're listening this far into the episode what you think of that. But that's probably what we're going to roll with. Maybe starting in a couple episodes.
Yeah.
Once we
maybe not next episode.
Probably not next episode, but definitely the one after.
Yeah. I just realized we're kind of matching.
We are kind of matching.
I didn't
notice
that.
Yeah, that's all right.
I walked in and I was still in my pajamas.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't know it was your pajamas. You could have told me it was just like.
I do. I sleep in a t-shirt and athletic shorts, so it really wasn't crazy. But I've been running around all morning.
I've been running around. I've been roaming around. Anyways, that's for the podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at CSGPod. That is CSGPOD. Follow us on TikTok at The Shuffle Podcast and on Instagram at The Shuffle_podcast. And subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all at The Shuffle Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. We will talk at you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.